His name was Geralt of Rivia. He was a witcher, a professional monster slayer. An unusual contract to lift the curse that held a monarch's daughter. It was enough to spend the night with the princess, dusk till dawn. If only she were not a deadly beast, a striga. The traitor responsible for the curse became the bait. Though gravely wounded, the Witcher lifted the curse and gained fame. The world changed with the coming of the Great War, the time of the sword and axe, the time of disdain. Geralt of Rivia disappeared, all but forgotten. But that's another story.
Hey folks, and welcome to The Witcher Enhanced Edition. Not sure what exactly this entails over the basic default Witcher, but it's enhanced somehow. Also, this is the one I bought off GOG. I have one on Steam, but it doesn't work. Last time I tried it was rather glitchy, and as far as I know it hasn't been updated. I haven't tried. So, it might work, I don't know. You may want to just get the GOG one just to be safe. But, you know, it's up to you. That cutscene will probably make more sense if you're familiar with Polish mythology. Because it just... I don't know. Seems an odd way of dealing with a beast. Okay, I'm gonna punch it around a bit, then sleep in its bed. Yeah. It's probably part of the curse. You know, it's part of undoing it. Presumably, Geralt knows what he's doing. He's competent at that. I have read the second book in the series. I've most of the way done the first. I read them in wrong order. When I got the second one, I didn't know where it was positioned. I just started reading. I enjoyed it. There's a few weird parts. And same in the first one, people were so serious. Women. Two enchantresses have commented, actually more, maybe like 3 or 4, have commented on how C-I-R-I, sorry, let me start that again, C-I-R-I, how her physique, like it would say like, oh, she looks healthy or whatever, like the Witchers were taking good care of her, or she was a girl the Witchers took in, there's a prophecy relating to her one story, and they were training her to be a Witcher, that's all they knew. They really didn't know much of the world. How they didn't even know girls had periods. I'm not kidding. Marigold, a woman you will meet here, she plays a big part, had to tell them that. Marigold was one of the women who was like saying, it's a pleasure to look at Ciri's body. Naked, presumably. Creepy. But again, it's the kind of world they live in. Or at least that part of the world. It's quite a big world, and we only ever see a part of it. Apparently, if you go far enough south, someone was saying that there's spiders there that can kill elephants. That is motherfucking badass. Have to stop for one brief second. I'm just paranoid about how I sound. BRB. Hey folks, and I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm going to do something rather different. Previously, I was thinking of just starting off the whole recording reading this. But I decided to talk about it beforehand. There's a bit of controversy relating into the Witcher 3, and I wanted to comment on it. I may not be playing the game, the Witcher 3. I'm starting off on Witcher 1, and I'll work my way into Witcher 2, and then when they have the proper equipment, I'll try Witcher 3. The game may be ported to Mac, but I'll be honest, this Mac is presently 5 years old. It was bought mid-2010. It's nearly 5 years old, if not is. And I just bought it off the shelf. It wasn't like tricked out when I got it. It was just bought off the shelf from my local Harvey Normans. So, while it holds up, it's like doing a good job for an old machine. Like all in all. I doubt it'll be enough for like Witcher 3. So it'll be a while before that comes around. But I will do it eventually. But yeah, I wanted to comment on it. I'm actually very nervous in saying it. I wrote a blog post. When this goes out, I'll be making it public, but I'm just going to read it here. I'm just going over it again, making sure it's like I wrote it right and whatnot. Because I'm opening a can of worms here. I'm touching on topics I normally don't, and I feel uncomfortable about doing so, as on the internet people are pretty touchy about shit. I'll admit I've been that way myself. So either I'm talking from well, what's a personal experience, but I've just seen a lot of really nasty people online, so I'm apprehensive, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna read it word for word as I have it here. I'm just looking at it on my phone. Could put it on my screen, but it's on WordPress and I'm paranoid about copyright of everything. I was even paranoid of copyright of like the music in this game or the opening cutscene, even though it's part of CD Projekt Red's material and I have permission to monetize it, let's play it, all that. Sent an email to the guy, the PR, no, not PR, the copyright agent months ago, sometime last year when I was around the time I went on the Deus Ex hiatus. The reason I didn't do The Witcher then was because of my Steam version didn't work. It seemed to use Wine to go over to for the Mac version. So maybe the Wine version wasn't working right. I have no idea, but this is working fine enough so far. Anyway, my thoughts on the Witcher 3 controversy. Hello folks and welcome to a blog post that is rather different to a normal blog post of mine, as it is my intent to read this out at the start of my Let's Play of the first Witcher game. And the reason this is being typed out is because that way I can, hopefully, express myself properly. As you might have guessed from the title of this post, this is about the controversy surrounding The Witcher 3. This controversy stems from the fact that there's allegedly no non-white humans in the game, and one critic had a problem with a succubus having dark skin. I understand the want for a variety of characters in games, but the way to go about encouraging the variety isn't to choose a game made by people who've been oppressed for many, many years, and who are making game heavily inspired by their own myths, and proclaim it racist because it doesn't have non-whites in it. In all honesty, I find the audacity to strut over to a people who've been screwed over so badly and tell them because they didn't create their fiction, express parts of their culture in your enlightened way, that they are quite racist. To be quite racist. But what do you expect of moral guardians? There's a phrase, art imitates life, and there's a reason that in quite a lot of art, moral guardians embody many of the sins they preach against, and that's just a case of art imitating real life. And what is happening here is one of the many examples art can and will imitate. Oh, I do hope these valiant guardians rail against that game that is about African myths, as it's quite racist for not including the poor Native Americans, or members of the First Nations. Sarcasm aside, there's something I need to say. To be very clear, I would have no problem with critics saying that the writing wasn't up to snuff, or something, but they made it about race, and that's why I take issue with what they've said. On that note, folks, I'm going to end this here, as I feel that I've actually, and rather surprisingly, managed to express myself properly, which is quite amazing considering how angry this issue has made me. Oh, and I am actually interested in that game on African myths, as I know fuck all about them, and they might be interesting. And for those wondering why I chose that game as an example, it's because I seriously doubt that those steadfast knights will actually speak ill of the game, which makes their issues with The Witcher all the more, shall we say, suspect. P.S. For those wondering why I'm using the phrase non-whites, it's because the critics of the game use the phrase people of color to describe anyone who isn't white, and not everyone knows what that phrase means, and I don't feel like beating around the bush right now. Also, I'm not saying that people who were hoping for variety are racist, just those closer to what I wrote in that paragraph, just to be clear. There's other points I want to make in relation to the controversy, such as Luke Maciak apostrophe S. Sorry, we say that sentence. There's other points I want to make in relation to the controversy, such as Luke Maciak's claim that there is no such thing as Polish mythology, and when corrected, his assertion that somehow him being so very wrong about that doesn't ruin his point. But I don't feel too comfortable talking about that, as I haven't read the entirety of his article, and I'm not all that interested in what he has to say, as a man is a muppet. There you go. There's what I wrote. There is actually one point I wanted to make on something I said. I didn't feel the, more, shall we say, suspect part was beating around the bush. I think it said it pretty clearly, in all honesty. Apparently, there was one other thing I was thinking of saying, I just wasn't sure how to fit it into the post. But yeah, I think it was in relation to saying the Polish people being screwed over so badly. One dev, he worked on Bulletstorm. Adrian, I can't pronounce his surname, apologies. It begins with a C. He was talking about living under communist control or something. Yeah, communist Russia had a big influence over Poland for quite a while, and basically a lot of shit happened during it. If we're even just talking within the last 100 years. Before that, hey folks, sorry about sudden stop there. You probably won't notice it. You'll just notice me cutting off probably mid-sentence and me starting again with this sentence. But I just want to word this perfectly, and sometimes I randomly just lack of self-confidence. I end up getting very nervous. But I was just saying, I don't know much about the time before that. To be honest, I don't even know much about Poland during World War II. Or afterwards. My knowledge of history isn't centered around there. Most of my history is centered around Irish history, which is boring as fuck. Like, seriously. Or at least maybe it's the way they teach it. I know a bit more about World War II, but a fair portion of my knowledge is towards, like, the Roman Republic, and a bit of knowledge towards, like, ancient Greece. Mostly through, like, centered around their plays, because it was, like, how they taught morality, like, don't fuck your parents, that kind of morality. You know, the important, the basics. So yeah, my knowledge is limited. But yeah, basically, put it simply, they didn't have a fun time. And yeah, I lost my train of thought because of panicking about getting a ride, so much so I forget what point I was actually trying to make. But yeah, they didn't have a fun time. So yeah. Like I said, a little awkward talking about this due to my lack of knowledge. There's plenty of people out there who have wrote articles in relation to this, who presumably know a bit more than I do. Because as far as I know, they may have grown up there. Well, actually, that Adrian guy, he did grow up there. I read a tweet from him saying growing up in Poland. So yeah, he wrote a few articles, I think, on this. I don't know how many, but you should give them a read. A few other people did write articles, which he did share. I'll actually tell you his Twitter link. I'll get it here. I mightn't put it in the description, purely because I mightn't remember. Okay, let's find out what he's called. Alright, this is his Twitter handle. ADRIANCHM. And his Twitter icon, just so you don't somehow get lost, is of him, presumably, with a bit of a blue background, and seemingly part of a speech bubble coming away from his mouth. You know, like you see speech bubble in a cartoon, it'll be that kind of thing, just coming away from his mouth. So, yeah, that's him. So he's posted a few articles. You have to go through his Twitter thing, though he may post it on Medium. I don't really have much knowledge of that site, so it may be easier to find it there if you search his name. I don't know. I have no idea. But the point of this isn't to plug him. The point of this is to play The Witcher. I've really opened the can of worms, haven't I? Ah well, where's the fun in not doing it, eh? Let's play The Witcher. Oh, this is cool. Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe you unlock them if you complete this or something? I have no idea. Or maybe you have to download them as DLC. Considering GOG, I probably have them and just haven't downloaded them. Like, it's in under extras. Anyway, play The Witcher. Venture to a dark world where there is no good or evil, just choices and their consequences. It is a pretty fucked up world. A lot of racism, sexism, bigotry, tossed around all sides. Also a lot of sex. Seriously, there's a lot of sex. There's a bard in it that will come up a fair few times, Dandelion. He sent in The Blood of Elves, the first Witcher novel. There are a few short stories before that, but he sends he knows he's being followed by a Secret Service agent, and since he doesn't want them to know where Geralt is, he goes to a student he knows. He was a teacher at this college here, at the college he was at, visiting. Actually, let me start that sentence again. He was at this, there's a town just outside the college walls, and around there he started getting followed. So, he wanted to report a message or something back to Geralt. No, I'm saying that name wrong. We'll find out the actual pronunciation soon. And so he sends the student back. He pretended to flirt with them so they wouldn't know what exactly he was saying. The guy's known for sleeping around, so they probably would presume it was just that. That's at least my logic behind it all. So he sends her to go give him a message, and he goes with the agents then after a while. And then when he eventually gets back to the meeting, hours later, he finds Geralt after solid snaking his way across the town. He ends up going out partying with his friends, then in the kerfuffle as they start brawling. Well, half of them start brawling, the other half are drunk and asleep, the other half are drunk and fighting. He climbs out a window, jumps across rooftops, everything, just to make his way to Geralt's place, where he's now sleeping with the student he just met. Long story short, yes, there's a fair bit of sex, and in this game you collect cards for every woman you shag. Gotta collect them all. Be cards or STIs, up to you. I'm joking, The Witcher can't get illnesses, as far as I know. They've apparently a very good immune system. In general, I presume it carries everything. Everything comes under it, but my knowledge isn't perfect. So there's 3 difficulties: easy, medium, and hard. And this is what Geralt looks like in this version. He looks so weird compared to his newer form. I'm so glad I didn't watch anyone's Witcher 3 Let's Play, because it just looks so fucking weird, and I've just seen the trailer a few times. And just little bits here and there. He just... oh, Christ. The more I look, the more accustomed I'm getting to him, but it just looks so different. Anyway, combat is easier and alchemy isn't required. Combat is challenging and useful, and alchemy is useful. While here it's difficult and alchemy is required. You can finding certain herbs, you can brew up different potions. The potions can allow you to see in the dark, to other things. That's the only potion I actually remember what I can do. I believe there's a few health potions you can get as well. Well, let's get into this, shall we? Oh, mouse and keyboard. Let's go for it. I didn't even read those there. I presume mouse and keyboard's better than just mouse. It's too much reliant on a mouse that I can only click left or right or at a time. I can scroll as well while I'm doing the other two, but still I can only left or right click. It's not much. Do like the loading screen. It's nice little artwork. Really liked Spec Ops The Line's kind of version of it. Very good. Not all of it was, you know, you would write home about, but some of them were pretty great in Spec Ops The Line. Oh no, a blink tree.
Nursed their wounds for 5 years after the Great War. Plague and famine raged, the death toll unknown. A few surviving elven and dwarven units sought refuge amidst forests, where they prepared for a final, desperate fight. Abominable beasts ruled backwoods, highways, and former battlefields alike. In cities and villages, folk were left wondering what had happened to the Witchers. The Blue Mountains in the north of Kedwin. The year 1270, 5 years after the Great War.
Yeah, I decided it's probably a better idea for me to actually commentate over this. Otherwise, there's many cutscenes in this. I'll probably not talk much in this game. But yes, it's gonna be heavy spoilers for the book here. If you don't want heavy spoilers, you may want to look away or not watch this.
Where am I?
Even seeing this is enough of a spoiler.
All right. I've no idea where you've been. The important thing is you're alive and among friends. Though you look like you just left your grave.
He looks pretty good for that. Good. Well, depends, I suppose, on how long he's been in the grave. The path here is shit.
I remember nothing. We'll speak soon enough. We're nearing Kaer Morhen.
I'll tell you now, at the end of the five books of The Witcher, I think there's only 5, not all of them have been translated, as far as I know. Geralt dies. There's an uprising and a bit of non-humans, as far as I know, only them. And he ends up dying. I think he's trying to protect his friends at the time or something, and he ends up getting skewered. So, him suddenly being alive is kind of the main focus of many of these games, like figuring out why and for him to remember who he is.
We're home. Leo, get Triss.
My god, this is kind of acting up slightly.
Your time nears its end, witches. Enjoy things while you can.
Oh, that doesn't seem good. Not him sharpening his sword, I mean the guy underneath the bridge. For sure, the guy sharpening his sword is perfectly fine.
Wrong, you missed the parry. I keep repeating this. Pirouette always followed by a back cross parry. Always.
Barely 2 days have passed since they found you.
Mm-hmm. I owe my recovery to you. Thank you, Triss.
Remember anything?
I do not know if that means sexual healing or not. She can cast magic to heal things, but...
Look below. I know the moves. Pirouette, parry, cut.
Yes, it could mean that as well. I don't know.
I can't explain it, but I feel a bond when we speak. I know you were important.
Geralt, we...
What's up with
I
it?
need to think.
Time flows slowly at Kaer Morhen.
Ha! It worked! Not bad. Take a rest. What do you think, Geralt? Is he ready for the path?
If I remember correctly, they were saying in the book the path can actually kill witchers, or at least severely injure. It's an obstacle course.
Wait for the rest. He's alone. The professor promised 50 orens for every freak we kill.
He's mine!
Holy low frame rate, Batman.
We got company.
I don't think my machine can even handle this.
I'm shutting the gate. Geralt, grab a sword off the training forms.
Oh, it's so nice to be playing an old RPG. And they ported it perfectly. It's normal. Sometimes with ports, if you go too far up or down while on Mac, it doesn't realize you're in a game and not on your desktop and freaks out. I'm just going to stop here for a second. Want to make sure it's actually recording. BRB. Apparently I can't. Well, let's hope this works. Damn, these bandits are durable. And you can see their health thing under their thing. Yeah, seriously. The only way for humans like these to kill a witcher is if they vastly outnumber them.
How do you feel?
Only a few? No,
Anyone
they
know who
wouldn't have
the
as much
intruders
chance.
are?
Ordinary bandits would never attack Kaer Morhen.
That we know, Marigold. You could try some of your famous magic.
In due time, Lambert.
Enough! We need to check the other possible passages to the upper courtyard.
I should have read that. I do not know what I just said. The Witchers can do a form of magic. It's not quite as good as what like Triss could do, but it's a more basic form. It's still good though, like useful in combat. Just like Enchantresses, some of them, not Triss, the CIRI, she appears in the third Witcher. Like she
What's happening?
can predict the future. She's one of the few who
down the
can.
gate.
They won't get anywhere.
Prophecy
We
kind of
got a
thing.
battering ram.
Can you see that?
Shit! What is that?
A frightener. One mean beast.
It's like some monstrous.
I know him. A mage.
It's
as
like
ambitious
some
as he is
monstrous
insane.
praying mantis. He's got some wicked sunburn.
They're coming up here. Get ready.
There's more! They're entering the upper courtyard!
The one in glasses is the professor. Murder for hire. I sense magic. There's a sorcerer among them.
It's probably the guy in the bondage gear. That's my guess.
Professor, you know the way. Get to it.
Also, I swear the professor died in the second book. Maybe I'm thinking of a different guy. I don't know where the second book is.
The professor is wanted in Redania, Temeria, and Kedwin.
I'll just have to read by it.
The sorcerer.
Marigold, I'm interested in whether you can disarm Savola. The rest is witch's work.
I'll try.
They're coming.
The Frightener is very dangerous, but it's vulnerable to loud noises.
The bell's in the upper courtyard.
Exactly. Eskel, Lambert, you'll help me stop the Frightener and the bandits. Leo, stay behind us. Geralt, you open the gate to the upper courtyard. When we're there, Triss can stop Savola and his pet, while we prepare to deal with the Professor and the unknown mage.
I'll figure something out.
Let's do this. Bleed them a bit down here before withdrawing. Geralt, follow the wall and break through to the tower where there's a passage to the upper courtyard.
Alone?
They're just bandits, though one might be infamous. You must open the gate. We'll be waiting. Good luck, Wolf.
Okay. Chain attacks. Sorry, I don't know what to. Sorry for not commentating. Just don't know what to say right now. I just don't. I'm at a loss for words. I'm just don't know what to say. I noticed the jiggle physics there on Triss, and it's just like I wanted to make a comment about it, but it's just like no words. Anyway, now that I've said that, now I feel comfortable enough to actually think of something. Chain attacks kill enemies more efficiently. Left click only when the cursor changes into a flaming sword. Chain attacks require precise timing. Clicking too soon will disrupt the attack. Clicking too late will reset the attack sequence. You just stunned your opponent, left click to finish them off. Attacks can cause critical effects like stuns, bleeding, and pain. Certainly hopes slashing a guy to death with his sword will cause bleeding and pain. I kind of fucked it up, but it worked anyway. And there's 3 different weapon styles. At least with this sword, there might be different later on. Also, why are you just standing around rather than, you know, looting or doing damage? Let's try to keep them in front of me. It's very nice of them to come at me one at a time. Seriously.
Mess with me and die.
Really? You haven't even taken a swing at me. Well, you did here.
I'll make you squeal.
Oh, he's not killing me! He's not killing me! These are subtitles here, so you know what I'm exactly unlocking. Also, they did hit me a few times, but I didn't take any damage. They're fighting down there. They're banded there. I have to get all the way up. All the way over to the other side. I think when I first did this, I just didn't kill the enemies.
You'll regret the day you were born.
But I'm not sure. Can I loot you? Loot? No. These bandits are
Mess
broken.
with me and die.
It looked kind of weird there. I thought the blood, when he slashed the ankles, the blood exploded from the neck. We'll see if it happens. That animation happens again here. No, the guy just ragdolls weirdly. I'm thinking I may turn down the graphical settings. My machine should be able to handle this, but it's seeming to freak out ever so slightly. It might be due to the anisotropic filtering. I think I remember adjusting that on, also I can't put on anti-aliasing. Adjusting that on Metro and it's helping.